Hi everyone, it's Dorothy Fitzer. Welcome back to another mini lesson practice break. And as one of you requested, here's Bob Kirby again. A client and subscriber to my e-newsletter requested that I speak about the feet. And that opened up a whole one of my favorite can of worms. When we talk about the feet, the first thing that comes to my mind is the issue of what everyone calls grounding. Oh, I feel grounded, da-da-da-da-da. Well, what does that mean? And everyone could come up with a different version of it. But from my experience, one of the best ways of getting that is literally the transfer of weight clearly through the skeleton and into the ground. Because when the weight is clearly transferred through the skeleton, which is a prime goal of Feldenkrais and Qigong and Tai Chi, and when that feed is right through the middle of the skeleton, there's little need of muscular effort, because when it's not fed, there's going to be some bracing to keep from falling over in one direction or other. And that micro bracing in the body can lead to a slight sense of fear of, I'm going to fall over, whatever direction. And versus when there's this feed, that, and the final feed is through the feet into the ground, there's this sense of safety. I'm being supported. The ground is holding me up. Granted, this is not conscious, but that's what it feels like. And when we're born, our nerves are very open and responsive. They're very curious. Think of nerves actually look like the roots of plants penetrating the earth. And our nervous system, when we're first born, unless something untoward happens, there's this sense of the nerves wanting to penetrate with curiosity into the environment until they get overstimulated, and then the child needs some cuddling, some swaddling. I should remember that word. But the inherent nature of our nervous system is evident in what's called the plantar reflex. When you stimulate a baby's foot, it'll start going like this. It'll start sort of reaching towards the stimulation. And unfortunately, as we grow older, things happen to us that cause us to retract from the environment. Something hurts. We feel abused or neglected or something. And in the emotional retraction, or it could be retraction from literal pain, the nerves do this. They contract away. Think of the basic two responses of life. It's either drawn towards something nurturing or pleasurable, or retracting against something toxic or painful. And so what I've found is most or all of us have certain degrees of this chronic contracting away from the environment in our bodies. And so for this week's experiment, what I'd like you to do is, when you're taking your little time out at your desk or whatever, is to experience your feet. Are they retracting away from the environment, or do the nerves feel like, I'm ready to feel or explore what's below me, or they're like the roots of a tree, or the roots of even a weed or grass, just penetrating up through a crack wherever can find it, and sort of play with that. Play with, okay, I have avoidant nerves, I have curious nerves, I have avoidant nerves, I have curious nerves. And because when the foot is chronically contracted, it cannot, it can't absorb shock. And that shock absorption that should happen through the foot, it's going to go other places in the body, and it's going to end up causing problems elsewhere, which you don't want. So you want a soft, resilient foot, okay? So I'll do more in future videos, but for now, just play with this idea between retract away, curious, retract away, curious. And don't judge yourself for whatever you're doing, but just play with this concept and see what happens. Okay, take care. Very best of wishes. Bye-bye. Oh, you want to say goodbye?